Okay, so for this deep dive, we're trying to figure out how we understand time just by looking at what's under our feet.
Stratigraphy, right?
That's it. Stratigraphy. It's the study of layer strata and how they stack up. It tells a story through time, whether that's geological time or human history.
And this isn't a new idea, is it? I remember reading about Nicholas Steno.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Back in what, 1669? A priest, actually, and a scientist. He gave us the big one, the law of superposition.
Which is basically,
Basically, what's on top is younger. The deeper you go, the older it gets. Simple, but, well, profound. It's the foundation.
okay. And in geology, you see these massive layers, use fossils by stratigraphy, right? And lithostratigraphy for rock types.
Exactly. But for human timescales, especially in archaeology, we often need something more precise. That's where chronostratigraphy comes in, getting actual dates, absolute ages for those layers.
Because human sites are messy, not like neat geological columns. Precisely. Steno's law is great for undisturbed nature, over millennia. But imagine an old town site. People dig pits, build walls, knock them down, fill things in. It's chaos, stratigraphically speaking.
So that simple older is deeper rule starts to break down.
It can, yes. You need a more sophisticated way to track all those events, those interactions between layers.
Which leads us to a key tool in archaeology.
The Harris matrix.
The Harris matrix, yes. Developed by Edward Harris in 1973. It's ingenious, really.
How does it work? What does it do?
Well, it's a way to visualize the sequence. Archaeologists identify individual contexts. Could be a layer of ash, a post hole, a floor, a pile of rubble, anything really that represents a single event or action in time.
Okay, so each little event gets its own box. Sort of?
Sort of, yeah. And then you draw lines between them based on their physical relationships. Which context cuts which layer seals another. It creates a diagram, a flowchart of time for that specific spot.
And it forces you to dig in a certain way. Absolutely. You have to excavate stratigraphically, meaning you remove the contexts in the reverse order they were deposited. The matrix shows you the latest stuff is at the top of the diagram, the earliest at the bottom. You follow the sequence backwards.
That makes sense. Digging down is like traveling back in time, layer by layer.
In theory, yes. But then you hit complications.
Ah, okay. Like this idea of reverse stratigraphy. That sounds paradoxical.
It is a bit counterintuitive. Reverse or inverted stratigraphy happens when material gets dug up and moved somewhere else.
How? Like natural causes?
Could be a tree falling over and pulling up soil, maybe a landslide, or very often human activity. Think about digging foundations and piling the dirt up, or knocking down a wall, or filling a ditch.
So you dig a hole, the stuff you dug out the most recent stuff goes on the bottom of your spoil heap.
Exactly. And the stuff you dug out first, the oldest stuff from the bottom of the hole, ends up on top of the heap. The sequence within that new deposit, the spoil heap, is flipped, older over younger.
Whoa, okay, so if you just find that heap later and dig down thinking deeper is older...
You'd get it completely wrong. An artifact physically lower down in that disturbed deposit could actually be much younger than one above it.
That's a serious problem. You could misstate everything based on that.
It highlights why careful observation and interpretation are crucial. You have to recognize that a deposit is secondary, that it's been disturbed and redeposited. The Harris matrix still works, but you have to correctly identify the relationships, recognizing the cut of the original hole and the fill representing the redeposited material as separate events in the sequence.
So stratigraphy isn't just about layers. It's about understanding the events that created and sometimes disturbed those layers.
Precisely. It gives us the building blocks, the narrative structure for history, geological or human. But you have to critically assess the evidence, distinguish original deposition from later disturbance.
It really makes you think about context. Like you said, physical position isn't everything.
Not at all. Think about a simple wall in a ruin. It stands tall, right? Physically high.
Yeah.
But stratigraphically, it's younger than the foundation trench that had to be dug before it was built, and it's younger than the floor surface it sits on. Height doesn't equal age. Context does.
So it makes you wonder then, if something as basic as physical position, like height, can actively mislead us about time because of how things get moved around,
Yeah.
what other assumptions do we make where the apparent order might be, well, completely inverted?